feeling really anxious. I mean, I'm about to give birth soon. It's overwhelming. Is there anything that could at least help take my mind off it, even just a little bit? Maybe something like reading a book or watching some TV here? Not that you would know, since you've never given birth yourself, right? Amber, yeah, I can understand why you'd feel that way. It must be really tough. And you're right, I don't have any experience with childbirth, so there isn't much I can say that would truly help. Maybe ask one of the nurses who are around to help you find something to keep your mind off things. But anyway, if there's anything I can do for you, anything at all, just let me know. Well then, why don't you go ahead and buy me a Chanel bag? If I have that, I'm sure it'll give me the motivation to push through and stay strong. And then I can take it out with me on the town after having this baby. What are you even saying? That's not the point here, and you know it. I'm genuinely concerned about you, you know? I'm worried about your health, too, and making sure you're doing well. Are you craving anything specific, or would you like me to get you some sports drinks or anything? I could bring those over for you. Hello? I'm not sick or anything. Why are you talking about sports drinks? Are you seriously that clueless? But I just thought since your body's going through a lot right now, maybe you'd want something like that. It's all about taking care of your health. How many times do I have to tell you? If I have a Chanel bag, I'll be perfectly fine. Don't make me repeat myself. I'm a pregnant woman. I am carrying this huge belly around, trying my best to keep going despite how hard it is. I don't know what to say, but to be honest, I've had a lot of expenses lately too. I don't really have the money to go and buy something like that. I'm really sorry. Wow, you are seriously useless. If that's how it's going to be, then talking to you is just a waste of time. I am fine with just having my husband around. That's enough for me. I'm getting so irritated, and to think you're not even my real mom. I'm the one going through pregnancy here, so at least you could do me a favor and call my actual mom instead. I'm sorry. You're always like this, aren't you? Even after Dad passed away, you were acting all cheerful, like nothing was wrong. You've always been so eager to get on my good side, huh? You go out of your way to spend all this money just to try and win my favor. It's honestly pathetic, but I guess you know by now that money is the only thing you really have to offer, huh? Is that really how you've been seeing me this whole time? I only wanted to be there for you because there was no one else who could stay by your side. But you've always acted like you were still going through some kind of rebellious phase. Of course, I try to make you comfortable, but we're family after all. That's exactly what I mean. You always say these neutral, nice things to try and smooth things over. It's so fake, honestly. Acting like you're some kind of saint, it's gross. You don't have to be so harsh with your words. Whatever, you can go on living your life the way you always do. I've got more important things to deal with, so I'm done here. Oh, right. I'm sorry for keeping you for so long. I'll let you go then. I understand. Take care and good luck with everything. Wait, what's going on? What do you mean, get out? I just wanted to see the baby as soon as possible since they've just been born. I've been waiting all this time to meet them. Huh? Don't get ahead of yourself, all right? I don't want someone like you, a stranger, anywhere near the child I just gave birth to. Got it? What? A stranger? What are you saying? I've never thought of you as family, and frankly, I want you to get out of the hospital room. Up until now, I stayed quiet because I thought you were useful, but to be honest, you've always been so annoying. So I'm taking this chance to cut ties with you. Go on, disappear already, you old hag. You really mean that, don't you? Obviously. Don't you ever show your face again. And by the way, you stink. Your old lady smell is unbearable. I see. Well, then I'll go. I'll take your words to heart. Just know that you can't take them back after this. Why would I want to take them back? Ugh, it's so gross. The stench of old age is suffocating. I need to spray some air freshener or something. Well then, goodbye. And don't ever contact me again.
Wait, Chelsea, what happened? Where did you go? I thought you were resting while I stepped away for a moment, but now I can't seem to find you. I asked Amber and she said you'd gone home. Did something happen?
Oh, Frank, I've been cut off from that child. She told me she doesn't want me in her life anymore. So I've gone back home and returned to my work.
What? But Chelsea, just earlier she was in tears of joy, so happy to see you. And now you're telling me she sent you home? I don't understand. What happened?
Frank, I've told you before, haven't I? I'm that girl's father's second wife. I'm not her biological mother. I made sure you were aware of that.
Yes, of course, you told me, but surely that's not the reason why she would...
Oh, but it is. Apparently, I'm nothing more than a stranger to her. She told me not to come near her child because I'm not family. And just like that, I was shown the door. She said that until now I was useful to her in some way, but now that she has no need for me, she's cutting ties. It's as simple as that.
That's so unfair. It's not right at all.
I agree, but there's nothing more to say. From here on out, I won't be stepping in or trying to help in any way. She's a stay-at-home mom, and I know this will put a burden on you, but it's no longer my concern. You'll have to take care of things from here on out.
Wait, does that mean you're really serious? You're not going to help us at all moving forward?
I'm afraid so. Every future plan we discussed, it's all off the table now. From now on, you, her, and the baby will have to figure things out on your own.
I understand. I guess this is how it has to be. Honestly, though, I think it's the right decision. Even if she didn't mean what she said, even if those harsh words came out in the heat of the moment, it's still unacceptable. You don't say things like that to someone who's done so much for you.
Well, that's how I feel too. I don't care what she or anyone else thinks anymore. I have reached my limit. There is only so much a person can take before something inside just snaps. I am done bending over backwards for her. From now on, I'm going to live my life freely without worrying about her. To be honest, just knowing I can finally live without constantly thinking about her feelings, it's a relief for me. I feel lighter already.
That makes sense. I get it. But the truth is, I have my own struggles to deal with, too. There's something I need to tell you. As much as I've tried to stand by her all this time, I don't know if I can keep supporting her in the future. If things continue like this, I'm not sure how much longer I can do it. I'm sorry.
Wait, what do you mean by that? Well, in any case, I guess she's no longer my daughter. I'm not going to push any responsibilities onto you either. If there's more going on, it's up to you both to figure it out. I don't want to get involved anymore.
Thank you for understanding.
I know it's going to be hard moving forward, but I believe you'll find a way. Just hang in there, okay? Mom, where are you right now? The house I'm supposed to live in? It's gone! What's going on? Oh, Mom? Are you talking to me? It's strange to hear you calling me that now, considering you've never addressed me that way before. What? Of course I'm talking to you. What's going on? The new house I was supposed to move into, it's up for sale. When I asked about it, I was told it's being sold because the owner put it on the market. That's all the real estate agent would tell me. When I asked my husband, he said I should talk to you. So what happened? Let me make this clear. I am not your mother, but yes, I am responsible for that. I sold the house. The new house you were supposed to move into has been put up for sale. In fact, I already have interested buyers, so I'm not worried about it at all. What? I don't understand. Why? I was supposed to live there. We bought it so I could raise my baby in peace. That was the whole plan. Yes, that's what you thought, but let me ask you, who did you think was paying for that house? Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying you were the one who was supposed to pay for it, not my husband? Exactly. I was going to pay for the entire thing. Your husband doesn't make enough money to afford a house in that area. It's a beautiful home, and there's no way he could have bought it with his salary. Wait, are you serious? Yes, I am. Look, I know I'm not your biological mother, and because of that, I've always felt that I probably made things difficult for you. It's not my fault you grew up without your real mother, but it is my responsibility that I married your father knowing he had a daughter. I promised myself that I would treat you like my own daughter. Of course, I didn't really know how to do that, and I was always feeling my way around. But at the very least, I wanted to make sure you never had to worry about money. I thought that would be one way to support you. Unfortunately, it turns out that my good intentions were taken advantage of, and in the end, it all led to this. Wait, you really felt that way about me? Even though we're not blood related? Yes, exactly, because we're not blood related. I knew I could never replace your real mother, but I hoped that by being there for you, I could at least fill the gap left by her absence.
So when it came to this house, I wanted to make sure you had a safe and comfortable place to raise your own child. I felt it was the least I could do, but I didn't think it was my place to boast about it, so I didn't go out of my way to tell you, hey, I'm the one buying this house for you. I thought that would be too much.
I thought my husband was the one buying the house for us. He never said anything different.
Well, he probably assumed you knew. I'm sure he didn't think your relationship with me was so superficial that you'd just take what I offered and then turn around and cut ties with me. He likely didn't realize that you were planning to distance yourself from me the moment you no longer needed anything from me. I'm sure that never crossed his mind. That's why when I was kicked out of your life, he was just as surprised and even reached out to me asking where I had gone.
But I never expected you to do something like this for me.
Let me guess, what you're thinking now is, I didn't realize she was going to buy me a house, and if I had known she was this useful, I shouldn't have cut ties with her so quickly, right?
That's not...
Anyway, you should be arriving home soon, shouldn't you? I sent you a little present, and it should be waiting for you when you get there. Be sure to check it out.
A present? What do you mean? Wait, does this mean you haven't given up on me after all? You're still going to help me?
Well, you'll have to wait and see. Consider it a surprise for when you get home.
What's going on? My biological mother just showed up at my house demanding to hold the baby, yelling to be let inside. She's acting completely insane. This is terrifying. She's still outside shouting, "Do something! Is this woman really my mother?"
Oh, I see you've received my little present. Yes, that woman is indeed your biological mother. Your father divorced her to escape from her and then met me. We got married afterward.
Are you serious right now?
Yes, absolutely. As you can see, she's not exactly stable. Your father realized that a few years after you were born. Up until then, he thought she was just a bit eccentric. He tried to be understanding, accepting of her oddities, but after you were born, things changed. She started using stress as an excuse to go to the pachinko parlors all the time, racking up debt. When she'd come home, she'd blow up in fits of rage. She neglected you, leaving your father to take care of everything while she claimed to be suffering from postpartum depression. Then she started spending her days drowning in alcohol.
I had no idea. My real mother was that terrible?
Your father hid it from you, but he didn't tell you any less either. He just avoided embellishing the truth to make her sound like someone she wasn't.
There's no way this is real. That woman out there can't be my mother.
Your father knew that if she ever found out about your life, she'd come running for money. That's why we've been keeping things hidden from her all these years. But then you're the one who insisted. You said, I'm pregnant and struggling. Couldn't you at least find my real mother? Don't you remember?
I might have said something like that, but if she's like this, I really didn't need her to be found.
Well, since you've severed ties with me, your stepmother, I figured I'd grant your request as a parting gift.
This is impossible. If I let that woman hold my baby, she might take off with them. Why would you tell her where I live?
Where else would I have sent her? It's not like you have your new house anymore. I couldn't tell her the hospital. That'd cause problems. So your current place was the only option.
This is the worst situation possible. Now that she knows where I live, I'll never be able to escape her.
Oh, don't worry about that. You won't be living there much longer anyway.
What? What do you mean by that? This is my husband's rental. This has nothing to do with you.
You're right, it doesn't involve me. But honestly, you've been far too cocky for too long. Even your husband is fed up.
What are you talking about? What's going on?
Let me ask you something. Whose child did you give birth to?
Huh? What are you trying to say?
The baby you just had. It's not your husband's, is it? I'm asking you, whose child is it?
Of course it's my husband's. Who else would it be?
Your husband suspected something. He thought you were seeing someone else behind his back. So he hired a private investigator, and guess what? It turns out you were. They gathered plenty of evidence, so there's no way you can talk your way out of this.
Stop it. That's ridiculous. There's no way.
There's plenty of proof. You're caught. After gathering all that evidence, he decided to take a paternity test just to be sure. And surprise, surprise, the child isn't his.
You've got to be kidding me. Why would he even do that? What kind of person suspects their wife of something like that? That is so low.
you're the one who's done something far lower. He found out the child wasn't his, and now he's going to divorce you.
What? Wait, no! You can't be serious! Divorce over something like this? Isn't that a bit extreme? We just had a baby!
It's not extreme at all. That child isn't his. He has no obligation to stay with you or raise someone else's child. You betrayed him. Did you honestly think there wouldn't be consequences?
But...
You married him, had a baby, and he was thrilled, only to find out the baby isn't even his. Can you imagine how that must have felt? Oh wait, you probably can't. You take after your biological mother, emotionally detached and completely self-centered.
I was just so lonely. He was always working and I was always by myself. It was so boring. I felt abandoned. Then I heard that my favorite host had retired, so I thought, why not reconnect? We ended up sleeping together, but it wasn't like it was a big deal.
A big deal? You cheated on your husband and you had another man's baby. That's not something you can brush off as no big deal. You've broken the law. You've committed adultery. You'll have to face the consequences. You quit your job right after you got married, insisting you wanted to be a full-time housewife. He worked his fingers to the bone to support you, and this is how you repay him? Betraying him like this?
But I didn't have a mother growing up. I've always been lonely. And then he chose his job over me, leaving me all alone all the time. How could he not understand how lonely I was? Isn't it his fault for not keeping me happy?
Then get a job.
What?
If you had a job, you wouldn't have had all that free time to start thinking like that. You've built this fantasy in your head that you're some tragic figure who deserves pity and can do whatever she wants because she's been dealt a tough hand in life. You've used me, you've used your husband, and you've convinced yourself that you're entitled to everything. You think the world owes you because you had it rough, right? You've got everything twisted.
That's not fair. Maybe I made mistakes, but you don't have to keep rubbing it in. Just help me out with this one thing. Get me a new house.
You think people who treat others poorly deserve to be treated well in return? You keep going on about how it was so unfair that you didn't have a mother, but there she is outside your door. I called her for you. Isn't that what you wanted? Isn't that enough to make you happy? You've spent your whole life feeling sorry for yourself, never appreciating anyone or anything. You've been so focused on your own needs, your own wants, that you've completely disregarded everyone else. You've become a selfish, thoughtless person. I am done with you. You're an adult now. It's time to face the consequences of your actions. The world isn't going to revolve around you just because you've been dealt a tough hand. If you keep treating people like they exist solely to serve you, you're going to end up alone. You need to start taking responsibility for your own life. Because right now, there is not a single person out there that wants to take responsibility for you after everything you've done to us. Even Amber, known for her confidence, seemed to panic in this situation and bowed her head to me, a gesture of apology that was somewhat unexpected. Her behavior was quite out of character, and I could sense the desperation in her tone as she pleaded for forgiveness. However, despite this unexpected display of humility, I couldn't overlook her past behavior towards me. The weight of her previous actions hung heavily in the air, making it clear that an apology alone could not erase the hurt I had experienced, nor could I condone her husband's outrageous actions, which had added to my distress. Their actions crossed a line, and I had no choice but to take a firm stand. This wasn't just a matter of personal grievances. It was about self-respect and the boundaries I needed to establish to protect myself. In a decisive move, I blocked her phone number, ensuring that I completely severed ties with her. It was a significant step, one that was necessary for my own mental and emotional well-being. I had realized that I could no longer tolerate the toxic dynamics of our relationship, and blocking her was a way to take control of my situation. It was important for me to establish boundaries and protect myself from any further negativity that might arise from our relationship. I had spent far too long accommodating Amber's needs, often at the expense of my own feelings and sanity. This was not just about Amber, it was about my well-being and mental peace. I needed to reclaim my space and prioritize my own emotional health. As for what happened to her afterward, I don't know the details very well. However, according to reports from her husband, Frank, it seems that Amber demanded a proper compensation for her situation. It's a complicated web they've woven, filled with deceit and manipulation. Frank conveyed to me that Amber was in despair, unable to rely on her former life as a host to support her anymore. The man she had turned to for help, a former host, was no longer a viable option, leaving her feeling abandoned and hopeless. This turn of events stirred a mix of emotions within me. While I couldn't deny that Amber had experienced hardships in her life, I also couldn't ignore the reality that she had often manipulated those around her to get what she wanted. Her situation was a culmination of her own choices, and I began to understand that it is wrong to take advantage of others' kindness simply because of one's past. Life had been difficult for Amber, but that doesn't give her the right to expect others to be inherently compassionate towards her. It seems she may have finally learned a valuable lesson, that one's past hardships do not justify one's present behavior or entitlement to sympathy. As I pondered this, I realized that my own journey had led me to a similar understanding. We all have our struggles and challenges, but how we respond to them ultimately defines our character. When I think about the relationship we had, I realize that it was marred by manipulation and an unhealthy dynamic. Amber's tendency to exploit the goodwill of others became painfully apparent, and I often found myself on the receiving end of her demands and expectations. It was as if she had taken my kindness for granted, expecting me to always be there to support her without considering the toll it was taking on me. Her approach was one of entitlement, as if my kindness was something she deserved rather than something I offered willingly. Reflecting on our interactions, I remember instances where she would come to me with her problems, expecting me to drop everything to assist her. I would listen patiently as she recounted her tales of woe, feeling an obligation to help her navigate her difficulties. While I am a naturally caring person, I also have my own life to manage, and I cannot always be available for others. There were times I felt overwhelmed by her continuous neediness, yet I still tried to be supportive, believing that everyone has their struggles. However, there is a distinct difference between offering support and being taken for granted. Amber's behavior often blurred that line, leading me to question the sincerity of our friendship. It felt as if her appreciation for my help was conditional, reliant on my continued availability and willingness to cater to her needs. This realization was disheartening and made me reconsider the nature of our relationship. In the past, I might have ignored the red flags, thinking that friendship meant being there for one another unconditionally. I had been raised to believe in the value of loyalty and support in friendships, but life experiences have taught me that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on manipulation or dependency. As much as I wanted to be a good friend, I also needed to prioritize my own emotional health and establish clear boundaries. Now that I've distanced myself from Amber, I find a sense of relief in the absence of that toxic energy. It's allowed me to focus on my own life, my own relationships, and my own well-being. The decision to block her number was not made lightly, but it was necessary for my peace of mind. I remember the anxiety I felt every time my phone buzzed, wondering if it was Amber reaching out for yet another favor or emotional crutch. The stories I've heard about Amber's decline since our split illustrate the harsh reality of her choices. Frank's reports reveal a troubling downward spiral. Her inability to find stability or support from those she once relied upon speaks volumes about the consequences of her actions. She is now facing the repercussions of her past behavior, which serves as a harsh reminder that one's actions have consequences. It is a painful truth that many individuals must confront, the reality that our choices shape our lives and relationships in profound ways. When people face the aftermath of their choices, it can often lead to a period of introspection and growth. I hope that Amber is using this time to reflect on her life decisions and the relationship she's taken for granted. It is essential for her to recognize the patterns in her behavior that have led her to this point. This reflection might just provide her with the insight needed for change. Despite the difficulties Amber is experiencing, I can't help but feel a mix of emotions. On one hand, there's empathy for her plight, as everyone deserves a second chance. On the other hand, I feel justified in my decision to cut ties with someone who has repeatedly failed to acknowledge the impact of her actions on others. This duality is part of the human experience. We can feel compassion while also recognizing when it's time to walk away. It's a delicate balance, but one that is necessary for personal growth and healing. As I continue on my path, I hope for the best for Amber, but I also understand that her journey is her own to navigate. I've learned that while it's important to be compassionate, it is equally crucial to protect oneself from toxic relationships. Moving forward, I am committed to fostering relationships that are reciprocal and fulfilling, where both parties can thrive without feeling overwhelmed by the weight of one another's issues. In the end, I believe that everyone has the potential for growth and change. Perhaps this difficult chapter in Amber's life will serve as the catalyst she needs to reassess her values and approach to relationships. Life can be incredibly challenging, but it is how we respond to those challenges that defines us. The resilience we show in the face of adversity can lead to profound personal growth and transformation. No matter where Amber's journey takes her next, I will remain hopeful that she finds a way to rise above her circumstances. However, I will do so from a distance, honoring the boundaries I have set for my own well-being. It's a bittersweet feeling, knowing that I once cared deeply for someone who is now a stranger to me. Reflecting further on Amber's situation, I realize that her life choices and the paths she's taken may stem from a deeper issue of self-identity and self-worth. Often individuals who face challenging upbringings struggle with recognizing their intrinsic value. This can lead them to seek validation from others in unhealthy ways. Amber may have sought approval and affection through her relationships, leading her to dependence on others to fill a void in her life. It's painful to think about how her neediness may have blinded her to the consequences of her actions. Perhaps she felt justified in demanding help from those around her as she equated love and support with the willingness to sacrifice one's own time and energy. However, this notion is fundamentally flawed. Love should not come with strings attached or expectations of continuous support. Her experience as a host, which she relied on for financial stability, likely reinforced a transactional view of relationships. In this environment, affection and support can easily be conflated with monetary gain or the desire for companionship, leading to an unhealthy cycle of dependence. If Amber had experienced a series of superficial relationships that lacked depth, it would make sense that she struggled to form genuine connections with others. Now that Amber finds herself in a precarious situation without the support she once had, she may be forced to confront these issues head-on. It is often in times of crisis that individuals are pushed to reevaluate their lives and choices. Perhaps this moment of despair could be a turning point for her, prompting self-reflection and growth. This kind of introspection is essential for anyone hoping to break free from the patterns that have held them back. As I consider the dynamics of our friendship, I'm reminded of the importance of fostering relationships that empower rather than diminish. It is crucial to surround ourselves with individuals who uplift us and encourage our personal growth. Relationships should be built on mutual respect, where both parties contribute to one another's well-being. For my part, I have learned valuable lessons through my experience with Amber. I now recognize the signs of a toxic relationship and understand the necessity of maintaining healthy boundaries. Setting limits does not equate to a lack of compassion. Rather, it reflects an understanding of one's own needs and limitations. It is essential to strike a balance between helping others and ensuring that our own emotional health remains intact. While I may feel sympathy for Amber's current situation, I also acknowledge that her choices have led her to this point. It's easy to fall into the trap of feeling sorry for someone and forgetting that they are ultimately responsible for their actions. This awareness is crucial in preventing the cycle of enabling behavior that can perpetuate a toxic dynamic. Looking ahead, I am committed to nurturing relationships that are built on trust and authenticity. I want to invest my time and energy in connections that bring joy and fulfillment rather than frustration and anxiety. It is important to be surrounded by people who appreciate my efforts and reciprocate the kindness I extend. This is not merely about maintaining a sense of balance, it's about creating a supportive environment where everyone can thrive. In reflecting on Amber's life, I can only hope that she finds a way to rebuild her sense of self and learn from her experiences. Life can be a series of lessons, and perhaps this chapter is a necessary one for her to grow. It's never too late to change, and I genuinely hope she finds the strength to do so. As I continue on my own journey, I carry with me the lessons learned from my relationship with Amber. While I may have felt sympathy for her plight, I now understand the importance of self-preservation and the need to prioritize my own well-being. I'm hopeful that both Amber and I will emerge from this experience with greater clarity about ourselves and the relationships we choose to cultivate in the future. With time, I hope to find peace in knowing that I made the right decision for myself. As I move forward, I will carry the lessons from this chapter into new relationships, ensuring that I maintain healthy boundaries while still being open to connection and support. The complexities of human relationships can be overwhelming at times, but they are also a source of profound growth and understanding. It is essential to navigate these relationships with care, always prioritizing our mental and emotional health. In doing so, we can foster connections that enrich our lives and bring us joy. In the end, my hope for Amber is that she can rise from the ashes of her past and build a new life for herself, one that is based on self-awareness, respect, and genuine connections with others. It is my sincere wish that she learns to value herself and others in a way that leads to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The journey of self-discovery is not an easy one, but it is often the most rewarding path one can take. As I reflect on this entire experience, I can't help but acknowledge the bittersweet nature of friendships. They can bring us immense joy and support, but they can also lead to pain and disappointment when those boundaries are crossed and expectations are unmet. I have learned that it is crucial to navigate these dynamics with honesty and openness, ensuring that both parties feel valued and respected. In conclusion, I have come to understand that every relationship teaches us something valuable about ourselves. While my connection with Amber has ended, the lessons I've learned will remain with me as I move forward. I will carry the knowledge that I deserve to be in relationships that uplift me, and I will actively seek out those connections in my life. Life is a continuous journey of growth and change, and I am committed to embracing the challenges that come my way. I hope to foster relationships that not only enrich my life, but also contribute to the well-being of those around me. As I move forward, I will hold on to the hope that Amber, too, will find her way to learn and navigate the complexities of relationships with a newfound understanding of herself and her worth.
I just wanted to make sure that you're going to be making dinner for me every day now, right? We just had the wedding yesterday, and that now means starting today that you and I are to act just like proper husband and wife. As my wife, you are going to do everything and anything I need from you, right?
Well, you don't have to say it like that, Brody. I plan to be the same woman you ended up marrying, and let's do our best to support one another.
Huh? You're joking, right?
What do you mean? Did it sound like that was a joke to you?
You and I just got married, right? Which means things between us are going to be a lot different now than they were before. I shouldn't have to tell you that, right? You should already know what your job is now as my wife.
What? What things between us are supposed to have changed now besides you and I being married?
Oh, for crying out loud. Are you really begging for me to just flat out say what I mean to you? I guess you really don't have any idea what I'm talking about now, huh? I just told you that we got married and you are my wife now. Do you really think that means we will both be working together to support one another? Do you call yourself a wife when you speak like that about us?
Wait a second. I don't actually understand what's going on here. Are you trying to go on about who does what when it comes to chores now?
I'm not trying to tell you who's going to do what. And that's because you are going to do everything when it comes to the chores around the house.
Huh? What? You want me to do everything in the house?
You're the wife now. And that's part of what comes with being the wife, right? Or are you going to say you never knew anything about that? Did you really just get married to me without that kind of common sense?
What common sense are you talking about? This whole time you and I have been together, we've made sure that we're both equally doing the chores, right? It's been that way with everything, including the cooking.
Come on! Why are you trying to act like I do any of that now, lol? I'm not going to be cooking for myself for as long as you're my wife. You and I got married, so it's your job now to take care of me.
What was all of that then that we had before getting married? You and I were both working together to get cooking and cleaning done. What happened to that version of you, Brody? I assumed that since we've always been doing things like that, we'd continue to do so after marriage.
I'm shocked by this. It's actually pretty incredible that you lack the kind of common sense that women normally have, lol.
Are you trying to tell me that all along you just assumed after we got married that I'd be the only one responsible for the chores and cooking in this house? I don't get it. That's not at all fair to me, especially since we're both working full-time jobs right now.
What kind of fairness are we getting at here? Lol. This is how it's always been for married couple, and that just means you're going to have to put in more work. We both got things we have to do that aren't the same, and that's why it might seem like this is all unfair to you.
Well then, what do you have to do that I don't have to?
Work.
But I'm also working right now. That's the whole reason why you and I have been splitting the housework between us, right?
Well, I'm a male, which means I have a right to work. I don't have to worry about cleaning the house or making meals. Now that we got that clear, I expect there to be dinner ready for me when I get home today. And from now on, you are to speak to me with very polite English. Do you understand?
Would you hold on just a second? You are not the same Brody that I was dating just the other day. You're like a completely different person from him, and it's a bit scary. Is this not just some kind of joke right now? Are you really trying to tell me that this is the man you've been this whole time, Brody?
This is the real me. The only reason I wasn't acting like this before is because we weren't quite married yet. Now that you and I are married, though, I can go back to being the man I've always been.
I have zero clue what you mean. I can go ahead and make dinner for us tonight, all right? But let's talk about all of this again later, please.
What was that food? I know. I already said this once yesterday, but are you actually trying to piss me off right now?
In what way am I trying to piss you off, Brody?
Do you really think I wanted to eat something like that last night? Like, seriously? Do you really think you can call yourself a wife when you only cook up 2 things for me to eat?
I think you're just asking for too much food. I was a bit stressed by how you were acting all of yesterday, but it seems that same behavior is carried over into today.
Why did you only make up 2 different things to eat yesterday? That is not what I call dinner. I want you to make at least 5 different things for me each night for dinner.
5 different things? That's not going to happen when I also have to work every day.
You do realize I'm not asking you to do this for me. I'm telling you to. In other words, this is an order from me.
Huh? Are you going to try and force me into cooking that much for you now?
Hey, shut your mouth. I don't want you forgetting that you are my wife now, and you have new responsibilities. That also means you need to start talking to me more politely.
You really want me to be polite with you right now? Really?
You making me such a little to eat last night has really made me start thinking twice about you and what you're doing. I don't give a crap that you're working a job like me or not. I want 5 different foods cooked for me each night. Do you understand that? If you cannot do that for me, then I can no longer view you as my wife.
Wait, what the actual hell has gotten into you?
Be polite with me!
I'm sorry. What has happened to you, Brody? What you're asking for is impossible for me right now.
Are you going to try making up excuses now?
You're asking me to do the impossible right now, okay? I also have to work, and I also have to start doing all the chores myself, like you've said, right? Tell me, Brody, what are you going to do while I have to do all of that?
As the husband, I'll come back home to the house, lol. Then, once I'm back home, I'm going to enjoy myself. That's the whole reason I got married to you in the first place, Gia, lol.
Are you trying to tell me that the Brody I was with before getting married was just you putting on a facade and acting like you were going to work with me after getting married? You had also been talking about equal rights and everything for men and women as well. Was that all a lie?
Well, I wouldn't call all of that a lie. It just so happened that no matter the couple, after getting married, things will change between them.
So that's how this is going to be? So what you want from me is to just stay quiet and do everything you say? It hurts to see that you've changed so drastically from the man I cared for and loved. But I have no other choice now. I'll make sure to obey everything you ask of me.
Listen to me right now, Gia. Ever since we got married 2 days ago, you've gotten everything wrong. Do you want to be divorced over not being able to cook me 5 things for dinner? You are my wife now. My wife. And that means starting today, I want everything done right by you. Every night, there better be 5 different meals prepared for me to eat.
Understood.
You better not forget that, lol.
But there's just one condition with all of this.
Huh? What conditions are you going on about? Do you actually think that as my wife, you can give me conditions that I have to follow?
I do, actually. And this condition is very important to you, I believe. If you're really wanting me to make you 5 different foods a day for dinner, then you'll hear me out. My condition to you is that in return for having to cook so much, you are going to pay for all the groceries that I have to buy.
Huh? Why should I have to do that? Are you trying to say I need to pay you now?
For the longest time now, I've been the one paying for groceries. I didn't mind doing that for us because both you and I would cook. But from now on, you're not going to be cooking anymore, right? That means you need to start paying for the food you're wanting me to cook, or else there will be problems between us.
Well, I guess you had always paid for the food.
Also, you're the one that'll be eating way more than me every night, right? Having me be the only one to still pay for all of the food is just unfair to me.
You do realize that there's no way you can make a husband and wife relationship perfectly fair to both parties, right?
You want me to make 5 things for you each night, right? Even though I'm working just as much as you are every day?
That's right. If you don't make what I want, then it's a divorce.
Well, if that's going to be the case, then please pay for the groceries. With just my salary, it'll start to get pretty tough for me. Especially when you count the fact that things are going up in price still.
I see. Then I suppose there's no other choice here. But if I'm going to be paying for all of the groceries, every single thing you cook me each day had better be what I want. You get that, right? If you even make just one mistake, things will not go so well for you.
I understand. I was just saying all of that in order to be able to do as you wish. Without you listening to me, I was never going to be able to cook you that much food. But now that we are aware of what each other wants, I can make you 5 things for dinner a day.
And it better not just be all vegetables either. I will not forgive you if that becomes the case.
You've always hated vegetables. But even with you having hated eating vegetables, you and I were always cooking vegetable-based foods to watch our health.
And I honestly hated having to eat all that crap with you. I hate foods like that which only an animal should be eating. And for a while, when we would cook all that vegetable garbage, I started to really think that your cooking was terrible, lol. From now on, make sure to study more meat-focused dishes so that you can actually please me for once.
All right, but remember that I still have to work 8 hours a day here.
What was that? Excuse me?
That was nothing. I'll make sure to study up on some good dishes for you. I'll give some new recipes a try for you, and we'll see what all you really like. Goodbye now.
I want steak of all types on my plate every night, alright? Beef, pork, chicken, lamb.
And that's the reason why you need to make sure you give me enough money to afford all of that for you. As long as you keep the money coming, I'll make sure to keep the meat coming.
I have no other choice at this point. Just remember that if you can't make me happy, even with me paying for the food, then it's over for you and I.
Understood. I'll make sure that all of the food is cooked well enough to please you.
You sure will, lol. Had you just said something like that from the very start, then we would have not have had to waste all this time yapping. If you keep up that good attitude towards me, I'll make sure to keep on thinking of you as a decent wife, lol.
All right then. Just make sure that each and every day you eat your dinner.
Have you made tonight's dinner yet?
Excuse me? What are you talking about? Of course I'm making your dinner right now, and it's pretty much finished and ready for you.
What did you end up making for me today? Really, you could add some more vegetables or something for today. Honestly, just a small amount of everything will be alright, as long as there's some green.
Don't you get too worried about that. I've already made everything up for you, and it will be waiting for you when you get home. Today, you are getting a huge plate of fried chicken, as well as some spaghetti. And let's not forget about the country-style omelet that I've made as well. Then we have some beef stew and pork cutlet to finish it all off. Your 5 dishes, all ready for you when you get home.
Just hearing you say all that to me has gotten my heart racing and my forehead sweating. Do you really think I'll be able to eat all that? Just stop it with all the cooking, please!
What? What are you talking about right now, Brody? What do you mean you want me to stop it with all this cooking?
I want you to stop making me so much food to eat every single night, please. I'm getting to the point now where I physically cannot eat the amount of food you are cooking for me. Have you not started to feel terrible eating that kind of food all the time?
I'm not really sure what you're going on about. You were the one commanding me to make all of this food for you every night, right? I made sure to do as you asked me to, and that meant each and every dinner would have 5 different foods prepared for you. It was you asking me to do all of this cooking for you and to make sure there was plenty of meat each time. So what exactly is the problem here?
Have you seen how I've been looking?
What? Well, I suppose you are a bit more chubby than before. But is that really what all of this is about?
My body is getting massive from all the food I keep eating, alright? I'm asking you to please stop making all of that crap for me to eat. How many pounds do you think I've gained in this past month? I've gone up 40 pounds, Gia! 40 pounds!
40 pounds? That really is a lot of fat you've put on them, Brody. Are you trying to become a sumo wrestler or something now?
Don't you make fun of me! Are you trying to make me feel bad about all of this? You shouldn't even be saying anything about how I look when this is all due to your cooking. If you keep feeding me like that, then I'm going to have a heart attack or something.
Well, then why didn't you just stop eating so much when I cooked dinner? All I was doing was cooking your 5 different foods a day for you, since that's what you had asked from me. Are you really going to start complaining about something you told me to do and then blame it all on me? Do you even plan on taking responsibility for what you told me?
Listen, Gia, have you been making me such garbage food this whole time with the intent of making me fat? I shouldn't be this fat after eating what you've been cooking me if it had just been normal food. What the hell are you trying to do to me?
What I've been trying to do is do as you say. And you said not to cook you a lot of vegetables and to make sure there was lots and lots of meat. Don't you feel a little dumb for complaining about the thing you had been saying for me to do?
Who are you calling dumb? I knew this is what you were trying to do. You went along with what I had asked you in order to fatten me up and then have a reason to make fun of me.
Well, I'll leave that one up to your imagination, Brody. But how about you just think of all this clearly? All I did was cook the types of food you wanted from me, and the amounts you wanted from me. And after cooking what you wanted, you had the choice of eating it all, like you have been, or just eating the things you could handle, like you should have been. Also, do you really think it's healthy for someone to gain that kind of weight in 1 month? Had you just been watching how much you ate every night, then you wouldn't be looking like a deflated balloon. No matter how you look at this right now, blaming me for you becoming fat is not at all right.
I knew it! You did all of this on purpose! I knew something like this was going to be true, but just hearing from you that you wanted to make me fat hurts. Why the hell would you do this to me? Right now, I'm not even able to fit into any of my clothing, especially my suits. Do you not realize how much trouble you've just caused me by making me this huge?
Trouble? All you've done is caused yourself those troubles, all right? I didn't do anything that forced you to eat all of that food. You have to understand that just like I do, right?
I'm not going to forgive you for this. The fact that you fatten me up like this.
Are you even listening to yourself right now? You were the one that asked me to make all of that food up for our dinner every night, and so I did just that to avoid worse outcomes. I've even been eating the same foods as you, and look at me. I'm not any fatter than I was a month ago. I've just been making sure that I eat the amount I need to and no more.
Are you trying to say it's my fault that I'm fat now? No matter how one looks at it, you've been the one forcing me to eat all of your food. Isn't it supposed to be your job as my wife to make sure I don't get this huge? To maintain my health?
What? You're an adult, right? I don't remember you ever still being a child. If you really are the adult you want to make me believe you are, then you should be able to watch your weight yourself.
You're my wife, and watching my health is your job, your responsibility.
Ugh, you really seem to be just full of complaints now. I mean, you were paying for all that food, so you knew I was buying a lot for you. And you even went ahead and ate all of it, even when it started to hurt. And all of this started because you said that 2 things for dinner wasn't enough for you and that you wanted more. So I did what I was told to and started cooking 5 unhealthy things for you every day. So cut it out with all those complaints and just shut up.
Why are you talking to me like that?
Because I'm tired of listening to you go on and on about crap that is only your fault and nobody else's. If you're going to keep complaining like that, I am seriously going to stop listening to you for good. You were the one that commanded me to do all of this, right?
If you don't stop talking to me with that attitude right now, I'm going to get pissed.
Go ahead and get pissed off with me then. I'm already past my limits with you and am no longer holding back.
What was that?
By the way, when it comes to the cost of all the food, do you know how much it cost for just this month's groceries alone?
What?
I feel that your income this month has all gone right into paying for groceries.
Huh? What?
In order to keep you happy with me and to not piss you off, I've been making sure to buy you all the best ingredients and meat. And you went ahead and ate all that cooking, which was costing you more than just eating out. With that, you went ahead and spent over $2,000 in food this month alone.
Huh? You're joking, right? You quit it right now with all this crap.
I'm not trying to kid you about anything though, Brody. I've been getting all that money from your account this whole time, so you can tell it's been costing you a lot. You had days where you wanted Wagyu from Japan. Other days you wanted me to go out and get you the most expensive gelato. You were always asking me for all these really expensive foods, and there was no way I could say no to any of it.
I'm sure I was asking for a lot of higher priced foods. But who the hell told you it was actually okay to spend that much money on food this month?
Okay, go ahead and tell me how much you said for me to spend each month on food then. Go ahead and tell me how much. I can't wait. Oh, that's right. You never gave me a price limit, did you? So this must mean that you blaming me for all your mistakes is misplaced blame. You were the one that asked for all of that to happen, and I obeyed. You should be thanking me now for going and doing every little thing you asked.
I have no reason to be thanking you for anything. How much longer are you going to pick on me like that before you're satisfied? I'm not going to let you get away with any of that anymore. If you do anything else without my permission from here on, or you make fun of me like that anymore, it's going to be a divorce. Do you want to be divorced by me? If you're troubled by hearing that from me, then you will show me right now that you understand.
I have no reason to understand you anymore, you fat cow.
What?
It's too late for you to get all upset with me and start threatening me with a divorce. The last time you and I fought, you threatened me by filling out and signing our divorce papers, right? Well, I went ahead and handed them in for us.
Huh? You handed those divorce papers in? What the hell are you talking about? There's no way you can just hand those in without my permission.
What? Why can't I?
What do you mean, why can't you? You and I are a married couple. Husband and wife, right? I just got those papers together and filled out in case I needed to scare you into submission some more. You should not just hand those in for real without asking me if it's okay first.
I don't need you telling me if it's okay or not. Nice try with scaring me into submission like that, you dumb bastard.
Wait, Gia! Why do you keep calling me such terrible names like that? That is not at all the way you should be talking to or about your husband, right?
I have had it with you, Brody. You're just a selfish, self-centered, fat-bodied bastard. I've already handed in the divorce paperwork for us, so now all you are to me is a complete stranger. Isn't this just great? You were finally able to get divorced from such a useless wife like me. But understand that you can no longer blame me for anything now. We're divorced now, and all your troubles and problems are your own.
Wait a second, please, Gia! Are you being serious about the two of us no longer being married? I never actually wanted for us to be divorced, though!
Well, even if that wasn't what your plan was with me, to me, you no longer wanted me around you, and that meant divorce. There really is nothing else for us to talk about now, right?
Wait, just a little bit more. We're not divorced. I didn't do anything wrong to deserve something like that. Tell me what I did wrong.
You did everything wrong, my guy. Being married to you was a real miss on my part, I suppose. Right now, I don't even want to see your fat face anymore. So now, would you please just go away forever?
Gia, wait, please.
I think it really is a good idea to stop begging me to wait and get a hold of yourself instead. Now you go ahead and enjoy your diet of meats and carbs, and I hope you end up on one of those major weight loss channels really soon. Although you're going to have to cook all that yourself, because I'm not sticking around to cook you any more grease. After that, Brody tried with all his might to get Gia to listen to him and come back, but Gia wasn't having any of it and completely ignored him. Not only did Gia tell the fatty to get lost though, but at work, everyone began to realize just how fat he was and started to side-eye him all the time. He's no longer respected by anyone within the office or outside of it, and will have to try really hard to gain anyone's respect back. But before he can do that, he might want to start with changing his whole diet so that he has the energy to move around again.
I've got really good news! Wayne's gotten a job! And guess what? He's going to be earning enough money for us now, so we don't need you anymore! You can leave and do whatever you like! He's finally gotten a job? That's great! I was starting to worry that he would never become independent. It's been 2 years since he graduated from college, but in all that time he hasn't done anything. It would have been a waste of his education if he just sat around sleeping and eating and surfing the net all day long like he's been doing. So this is a great start! I hope he can make the most of what he learned from college and do something that he loves. He's still young, so he's got to experience more of the outside world. Where did he get the job? There's no need to talk about your little brother like that! What do you mean? I just said what I thought. I'm wishing the best for him and lounging around at home with me paying for everything he eats and you doing all the housework for him isn't what's best for him. He needs this job. You're his big sister. Can't you be happy for him? I don't understand how you could be so cold. He worked so hard in college, so of course he deserves some time to rest and enjoy his own time before getting a job. You didn't even get into college, remember? So don't act so high and mighty. You're just a high school graduate. Didn't get into college? That's how you remember it? That's a fairly lopsided memory of what actually happened. It's not that I couldn't advance to college because I didn't have the grades, and it's not like I didn't want to go. I did want to go. Like, badly. First off, no one would pay for my tuition and entrance fees, and I couldn't even set up a student loan because I couldn't get someone to be my co-signer. On top of that, I couldn't even use the money I had saved up for my part-time job to attend a short course because I had to get a job. And the reason that I had to get a job was because someone was complaining that I was living off of them, namely you, Mom. I had to give up going to college and had to earn money to help pay for the bills because you asked me to, Mom. No, you coerced me. I didn't have a choice if you weren't going to help me pay the fees. I've been working ever since I graduated from high school and putting all my salary into this house. I've given up a lot, and you want to look down on me for being a high school grad? You must be joking. So what if I stopped you? You wouldn't have been able to graduate like Wayne did anyway. I knew that it would be a waste of money to send you, so I got you to do something more worthwhile. You should be thankful that I saved you 4 years of your life. Anyway, you shouldn't make such a big deal about the salary you make. It's practically pocket money. Don't be so big-headed. You can stop bragging when you make more money. Until then, you don't have the right to act like you're better than your brother. Pocket money? Are you being serious? I work hard to make money, and I think I can say that you're pretty much living off of the food that I buy with that salary and warmed up because of the electricity bills that I pay. And you think you can look down on it as pocket money? You've got to be kidding me. Just how special do you think you are? Even though you only went to high school. Why don't you just acknowledge that you're not as smart or skilled as you like to make yourself out to be? I've been putting $2,000 into this house every month for the past 10 years. I think I'm entitled to a little bit of gratitude. Don't you think anything of the sacrifices I've made? Gratitude? For what exactly? I think you'll have to remind me what I'm supposed to feel grateful for. When I first started working, I wasn't making a lot of money, but I knew that I had to work harder so we wouldn't have to worry about buying things we wanted. So I did my best to get promoted and finally got a pay raise a few years after I started working. But ever since my salary increased, I've been paying for almost everything every month without fail for 10 whole years. I hardly ever spent money on myself and never complained. Even when I couldn't buy the clothes I wanted and couldn't go on holiday with my friends. I only recently started earning enough to put aside some money for myself, but even that's not a lot. You can't expect me to save a lot when over 95% of my salary goes towards this house. And you don't think you have to feel grateful? It's not like I expect you all to thank and bow down to me, but I definitely didn't expect you to be this indifferent to the sacrifices I'm making. Don't you feel anything at all? No, I really don't understand what you expect from me. It's only natural that you should take care of your family, don't you think? You shouldn't be so selfish. Anyway, I don't understand how you can make such a big deal over such a pathetic amount of money. Whether you put that money into paying the bills or not, it doesn't make any difference. More importantly, you should be grateful that I'm still letting you live in this house. You're already a grown adult, so you should be living by yourself or getting married, but you still haven't left. I am grateful, Mom. That's why I've been paying for everything. Then don't act so arrogantly over $2,000. I gave birth to you, so there's no reason for me to be grateful to you. So don't expect me to ever say thank you. I swear on my life that I won't ever say thank you. You don't have to swear on your own life or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work. I've got a meeting that I've got to prepare for and I'm pretty busy, so we can talk about this another time. Oh, I almost forgot. I've got a business trip next week, so I'll be out of the house for a few days. I thought I should let you know now before I forget to mention it again. You're going on a business trip? You don't even make that much money, and you have to make trips for your company? Instead of working for a company that's so cheap and makes you work so hard, why don't you find a better place to work? A place that actually pays you more money. Though, considering how useless you are, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the best you can do. You're already 30 years old, you know. You've got to find someone to marry instead of spending all your time working at a company that doesn't even pay you enough. At this rate, you're going to grow old and die alone without ever becoming independent and making a family of your own. You should find someone while you're still young. Do you really have to talk to me like that? Like the choices I've made mean nothing? I don't regret focusing on my career and I enjoy my job. Right now, I just want to save some money for myself so I can make the most of the time that I have. I'll look for someone when I feel like it, so can you leave me alone about that? There's nothing to rush. I'm going back to work. I'll see you later.
Hey, Maya. Can you lend me some money?
Again? No way. I don't have any more money to spare this month. I've already lost count of the number of times you've asked me for money these last few weeks. You can't keep on coming to me for money, Wayne. I don't know what it is that you want, but you should start saving up money yourself. I heard you got a job from Mom, so you don't have any excuses anymore. It's a good chance for you to learn how to budget your own money and to use the stuff you want as motivation to work. Unlike Mom, I'm not going to baby you forever. You've got to start standing on your own 2 feet from now on, okay? I'm saying this for your sake.
Jeez, Maya. You really sound like an old woman. I thought you were still 30. But if you're going to lecture me like that, I'm going to get you confused with Mom. I got a job, but it's not like I'm making a lot. I still don't have a lot of money. I just wanted a job so that I could get away from Mom and spend more time away from home. You're not here during the day, so you don't know it, but she's really annoying.
Even so, it's good that you got a job. She won't bother you so much and you'll have your own money. You can even move out if you wanted to. Mom's got a bad habit of being overprotective of you. Personally, I think you need to learn to take care of yourself instead of having Mom do everything for you. It'll be a good chance for you to become independent. Well, that's if she'll let you out of her sight. She might freak if her precious baby bird announces he wants to move out of the nest.
Freak? She'll have a total meltdown. Oh yeah, about moving out. Why are we moving to another house all of a sudden?
Huh? What do you mean?
We're moving house next week, right? Mom didn't tell me why, and all she would say is that she found a better place. But I don't get why we're moving next week. Can't we have more time before we move? Plus, my part-time job's closer to the address we have now, so I wish she would have warned me before deciding.
What? She never told me that we're moving. Are you sure that's what she said?
Huh? You didn't know? That's weird. But yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And did you just say part-time? I thought you got a full-time job somewhere.
Does that matter? A job's a job.
Seriously? Hang on. I still have some work to finish off, but I'm not done with you. There's a lot of questions I want to ask, so I'll call you later.
Hey, what about my allowance?
I don't have anything to give you, Wayne. Save up your own money. But I'll think about buying you dinner. What do you think?
Really? Thanks. I've been so broke, I haven't been out to eat in ages. But you can't take it back. You already promised to buy me dinner, alright?
Yeah. But don't expect anything fancy. I'm only taking you to the cheap family restaurant down the street. When we meet up, you've got to tell me everything about this new job you have and what you've heard from Mom about moving house. Maya, we've all moved without you. What? There's no point in living with someone that doesn't even earn that much money, so we've all moved out. When you get back home from your business trip, you won't have anywhere to live. If you really want to live with us, you'll have to earn twice as much as you do right now. Otherwise, we have no use for you. Do you understand? If you don't want to be out on the streets, you'll have to work harder. And that might be hard for someone who didn't even go to college, but that's not my problem. Are you being serious? You moved out because you think I don't make enough money? That I haven't put enough money into paying the bills? And you're telling me to make double of what I'm getting right now? What's wrong with you? Do I really mean that little to you? Is money really all you think about? There's nothing wrong with me. You just don't make enough money. So if you want me to tell you what our new address is, you should do whatever it takes to increase your salary. Even if that means finding a new job or a rich husband who will take care of us. If not, I'm not telling you. And I'll have to disown you for being disobedient and not being a good child to your parents. You must be joking. Are you trying to threaten me? I'm not joking at all. I'm absolutely serious. Wayne's gotten a job, and of course he'll be earning a lot more because unlike you, he actually had the grades to go to college. We don't need your pathetic salary if we've got him taking care of us. But if you manage to earn as much as he does, we might think about letting you live with us all. Mom, I get that you must think that I'm desperate to live with you guys, but to be honest, I don't really care. You can threaten me all you like, but I'm not going to fall for it. I like my job, and I don't have a problem with my current salary, so I'm not going to do anything you say.
Oh, really?
Fine. Then you'll have to make do, all alone. But are you really sure you don't want to know where we've moved? If you're adamant about staying in that low-standard job of yours, you'll be stuck with the minimum wage forever. On top of that, if you lose the house, you won't have anywhere to live. Where are you going to live if you don't come and stay with us? You'll be out on the streets, all alone, without any shelter or warmth. And once you lose a place to live, you won't be able to go to work anymore. You'll lose your family, your home, and the chance to find a new, better job, all in one go. Just because you've convinced yourself that you're better than us. But in reality, I'm sure you'll suffer a lot without us. Are you sure you want to risk that? Just imagining how lost you'll be is making me laugh. You realize that you barely sound like a mother anymore? You've moved house with the intent of making me homeless, or at least threatening me with it so I'll bring home more money. Say whatever you like about my methods. I'm saying all this for your sake. You should be making more money at your age, and after everything I've done for you, I deserve it. Have you forgotten that I gave birth to you, raised you, and fed you? I'm just disciplining you so that you'll learn to feel gratitude for the things people have done for you. Gratitude? You want to teach me a lesson on gratitude? The person who said that she would never say thank you to me for the work I've done and the money that I put into this house? I've been thankful for you raising me. Always. But I don't understand why I have to be looked down on like that. I've done my best up until now, and I can't find any reason why I have to be treated like this, even if you are my mom. You're the one who should show more gratitude for the things I've done and given up for this family. You love to bring up the whole Maya's inferior to Wayne because she didn't go to college thing. But I didn't go because you wouldn't let me. Instead, I worked my ass off for over 10 years for you. You always conveniently forget all the things I've done, but love to bring up the fact that you raised me even though you treat me like this. You can't seriously think that I'd be satisfied with the salary you're bringing in. You only earn $2,000 a month. And what's wrong with me praising Wayne? It's the truth. Wayne's going to be earning much more than that pathetic little salary of yours because he was smart enough to go to college. We've all decided to move out without you. If you want to live with us again, you'll have to earn double. That's how you can pay me back for raising you up until now. Pay you back? Wow. I should have done this much sooner, but I'll be moving out too. Feel free to do whatever you like. I don't care what you do. It doesn't mean anything to me. I still have Wayne. Yeah, good for you. You don't have to tell me where you live. And I think you said that you wanted to disown me? That sounds great to me. I don't want to have anything to do with you either. I'm going to finally live for myself from now on. From now on, we're strangers. Are you happy with that? That sounds great to me. You were never good enough for this family anyway. I'm glad we could finally get rid of a weight like you. But are you sure you want to do that? Don't come crying to me if everything goes wrong, just like I said earlier. Honestly, you're too proud for your own good. That's why you'll never be able to be better than your brother. All I'm asking is that you find a job that pays you twice the amount you're earning right now, and I'll let you live with us. It's simple. You should just be a good girl and listen to what I say, but you never do. You've always been such a problematic child. I've had enough of listening to what you say. Listening to you made me lose out on going to college and made me waste 10 years of my life trying to please you. I can't live with you anymore. and this is a great chance for me to finally make a new start. I don't even want to think of you as my mother anymore, so if you've moved out, then that's perfect for me. I've always wondered if there was a chance for us to reconcile, but now that it's clear that we can't, it's like there's a weight off my shoulders. If anything, this situation is all to my advantage. I don't have to hand over all my salary to you, and I can find a place of my own. I can do all the things I've wanted to do and can finally spend all my money on myself. You may be really happy, but I'm over the moon. What? What's the matter with you? You're going to be homeless and all alone. You can't honestly be happy about that. What? I'm not going to be homeless. You really don't know anything, do you? It's a shame. But you've only got your lack of interest in me to blame. And I'm happy because I can finally rid myself of the toxic mother I've always had a bad relationship with. I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I'm going to be free. Free of you and your manipulation. I'm going to move to a new place, and I'm not going to tell you the address either. From now on, we're going to live completely separate lives. Goodbye. Maya, why won't you answer the phone? Hurry up and pick up the phone. I've been trying to call you since yesterday afternoon. You can't ignore me forever. I am your mother. Answer the phone right now. Mother? I'm sorry. I think you have the wrong number. I don't have a mother. What are you talking about? Don't be silly. I am your mother. Don't joke around. I need to talk to you about something serious. Oh, well, I think I used to have one, but unfortunately we cut ties last month and decided we wouldn't bother each other ever again. So, who are you? I'm not interested in talking to anyone who calls themselves my mother. I think I remember we had a fight like that, but you didn't actually take it seriously, did you? I didn't mean any of that. It's all in the past. Let's forget about that silly fight and make up. I want us to get on from now on. For me, having a mother is a thing of the past. Even when I still called her my mom, she didn't act like one. Don't joke about things like that. I'm being serious. I have something to ask you. We're in a lot of trouble and you've got to help us. So listen to me properly. And I'm telling you that I have no obligation to listen to anything you have to say. We're not family anymore. You're the one that said I was just a weight and that you had no use for me anymore. So what made you change your mind? We haven't been able to pay the rent for our new home, and we might be kicked out next month if we don't pay up. You've got to help us. I don't understand what's going on, but it looks like we need you after all. I'll let you know what our address is, so come quick. Please, forget about that stupid fight we had and come live with us. You say that, but what do you want from me? I don't see how I can help you. I thought I already made it clear before we cut ties that I've done more than enough for this family. You chose to ignore that and didn't think that you had any reason to feel any gratitude for the things I did, so I chose to start over. I'm not surprised about the situation you're in now. To put things simply, Dad wasn't bringing any money home, so it's only a matter of course that you couldn't pay the rent. What are you talking about? Your dad's still working. He should be earning more than enough. Just because you cut ties with us doesn't mean that you can be so rude towards your father. Besides, that's impossible. It seems that you thought the money he was earning was available for us to use on the bills and stuff, but that's a mistake. He was using all of that money to pay off the debt he owed, so he hasn't paid for anything these past 10 years. He hasn't put any money into paying the loans for the house, and he hasn't had any money to spare to even pay the bills. He couldn't afford to pay the mortgage, so we had to rewrite the contract for the house years ago. It was in my name when you all moved out, so I decided to sell it, since I didn't want to live there anymore either. What? The old house was in your name? That's not possible. Wait a minute. I need some time to process this. No! What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Why would he put the house in your name? You still don't understand? Dad wasn't earning as much as you like to think he was. He was earning much less than me and had to use all of his salary on paying back the debt he owes. I think that the situation you're faced with right now is more than enough proof that his salary can't cover the rent, bills, and money you need for groceries. Don't you understand how useful my pathetic salary was now? I don't know what debt you're talking about. He should have already finished paying off the debt he owed years ago. Why is he still paying it off? What you're saying doesn't make any sense. You think he already finished paying it off? No way. That's going to be impossible. You even know how much he owes? It's an amount big enough that he won't be able to pay it off by the time he retires, no matter how much he works overtime. Even if he earned the same as I did, it would still be difficult for him to clear it all up. What? Plus, you were saying that you moved because Wayne got a job, right? I understand that you wanted to start a new life and a new home without me, but you really should have thought about it first. Or did you really think that I would cling to you and beg for you to let me in? And that you would get me to find a job where I would earn twice the amount I do right now? Please, Mom! Let me come live with you! I don't want to be all alone! I'll work harder and do everything you say! Is that the reaction you thought you would get? You must be kidding. Oh, man. You're the one that thinks too much of herself if you think that you can use your own daughter that much and expect her to be your slave forever. Of course not. It took me a while, but I finally realized that there's nothing I can do to make you happy or love me as much as you love Wayne. So I've given up on trying to get on with someone as toxic as you. You're nothing to me. I can't believe you would say that. You're a horrible daughter. I did all of this for your sake too, you know, so that you would finally realize that you should work harder for your parents' sake. But Wayne's my baby boy. He's going to be the one to take care of us when we're old, so I realized that we had no use for a grown daughter who isn't even earning that much and isn't even married yet. I just wanted to chase you out of the house before you caused any more trouble for us. You're just a waste of space. And I felt it was the best time to move since Wayne would be getting his first pay this month. I am tired of you playing the victim, Mom. Anyway, I'm saying that you shouldn't have decided to move so fast before even knowing how much Wayne would be earning. Do you even know where he works? And the hours? He barely works 20 hours a week. It's a part-time job at a convenience store. If he was by himself, he could probably get by, but is that true? He's only working part-time. Why do you even know that? Why would he tell you when he didn't even tell me? He told me that he was working for a major corporation, a really big business. He didn't say anything about a convenience store. He didn't say anything about how many hours he was working either. Well, I guess he wasn't lying. It's a convenience store that has stores all over the country, so it's true that it's a major business. But he obviously lied to you because he wants to meet the stupidly high expectations you have of him, so that you wouldn't judge him like you judge me. And because he wants to impress everyone. But I'm surprised you would actually move before confirming how much he was paid. You didn't even wait for his first paycheck before you decided. You clearly aren't looking reality in the face, Mom. You conveniently choose to ignore all the stuff I've done for you, but you believe that Wayne must be doing much better than I am just because he's your baby boy? Why does it matter whether it's part-time or not? I never knew you looked down on other people's jobs like that. You should be ashamed of yourself. It doesn't matter, as long as he's earning enough. $600. That's all he earns in a month. Like I said, if he was living alone in a super cheap apartment, maybe that would be enough. But I don't think it's enough to support the three of you, especially if you can't rely on Dad's paycheck. You're joking. That's all he earns? I thought he was going to get a lot more. You called my $2,000 salary pathetic. What would you call Wayne's $600? What's the saying? Oh, I know. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. I hope you finally understand how much I've done for this family. There's no way you'll make any of the payments this month or next month without me. Anyway, I doubt Wayne will be as generous as I was. He's more likely to keep all the money he makes for himself because he's grown into an adult with everyone around him doing everything for him. I can't believe this. Why didn't you tell me? We moved all this way for nothing. Then I guess we have no choice but to move back into the old house. At the very least, we won't have to pay rent there. So, will you give it back to us? I already told you. I sold it. You did what? I didn't give my permission for you to do that. I told you. I was paying the mortgage, so Dad thought it was only right that the contracts be rewritten in my name. I'm the owner of that house. Well, until I sold it. Which I had every right to do because you all moved out and I didn't want to live there anymore. And I'm warning you, you can't use any of the spare keys you still have to get in because the locks were changed when I sold it. It's already been sold and it's already someone else's property. If you try and get in, it'll be considered trespassing and you'll be arrested. I can't believe you. How could you sell the house while we were gone? What's wrong with you? Wait, is that why your dad was so worried? He was shocked when I told him you weren't coming with us, too. Was that all because he knew he couldn't afford to pay anything? I thought it was strange that he kept asking me where you were and why you weren't coming with us. But this must be why. Then what did you do? What did I do about what? You were saying that you were going to move. Where are you living now? You sold the house, so you must have gotten a lot of money from that too. Where did you move? I'm living in a penthouse apartment closer to my job. Your what? For the past 10 years, you've been looking down on my job, but I think I deserve a little more respect. I don't know what you consider worthy of respect, but at the very least, I've got my own office, and I've been entrusted with managing several major projects. So, I earn relatively a lot despite everything you say about me being inferior to Wayne and not earning enough money. I realized that I deserve to spend my own money on myself, so I moved closer to the city center to an apartment that has a great view of the skyline. You can't be serious! We're about to be kicked out of our house, and we can't even afford to find another place, but you're living in a penthouse apartment? That doesn't make any sense! If you've got the money to buy that place after you sold the house, then we deserve to live there too. No way. That's not happening. You asked for this. You were the one that planned to move out while I was away on a business trip and said that she wanted to disown me. Maya, don't be like that. You'll forgive me, won't you? I was so stupid. But I'm your mother after all. Let's forgive and forget. I just didn't understand you and didn't try to talk to you enough. I never knew how much you were helping us, but I do now. So can we go back to the way things were and help each other again? No way. Oh my god. This is hilarious. Just how convenient do you think I am? Maya, just think about it for a minute. You don't have to say no that quickly. We're going to be kicked out of our house. You've got to help us. Why should I? You were laughing about how I wouldn't have a home to come back to when I got back from my business trip. You didn't even tell me you were planning on moving. And now that you know the truth about who has the money, you're begging me to let you live with me? I don't even want to tell you my address. I don't want you coming anywhere near me. Are you being serious? Even though I'm your mother? Like I said, I don't have a mother. We already cut ties, remember? You are a stranger to me now, and I don't want anything to have to do with you. But if you pay me back all the money I've put into paying the mortgage and bills in the past 10 years, I might think about letting you know where I'm living right now. Well, think that's going to be impossible, so goodbye. After that, Maya blocked her mother's number and wouldn't reply to any of the messages her family sent her. Her mother and family ended up being evicted from the house they had moved into just weeks after they had moved in, and had nowhere else to go. Maya's father was furious with her mother for the way she had treated Maya, so when they finally managed to find a small apartment to live in, he ordered her to get a job so she could help pay the bills herself, and wouldn't let her come back until she had found a full-time job. As for Wayne, he disappeared when he got his first paycheck and never came back. It looks like he wasn't interested in taking care of their mother either, despite how much she had praised and favored him over Maya. But their mother only has herself to blame for not treating her own adult children with respect.
Michael, thanks for yesterday.
Of course! Did you sleep well?
Yeah. Well, kind of. My heart is still racing.
Oh, you, that's so cute.
I can't help it. I mean, we're engaged now.
Yeah, thanks for saying yes.
Thanks for popping the question. You made me so happy. I love you.
Love you too.
My dad wasn't around when I was a child. I was always lonely, so when we have kids, I want to be there for them as much as possible.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Maybe it was a bit too early.
Oh, it's fine. I want kids someday too, so...
We should set our wedding date soon. Gotta start preparing.
For what?
Huh? Oh, my job. I'm gonna quit.
Huh?
Huh?
You're gonna quit? Why?
We talked about this. I want to be a housewife.
Yeah, but why quit? You never told me that.
Oh, I thought I did.
Why do you want to quit? It's not like we have kids yet.
Yeah, but I've been planning this for a long time. I even saved up some money for it. Many people quit after having kids, but I want to start preparing early. That way we can have kids anytime we want. You want kids too, right?
Yeah, but what about maternity leave? That's what most people do.
Yeah, I know, but it's not for me.
I had no idea.
I thought you knew. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
You're so irresponsible. I didn't know you were like this.
Huh?
So basically, you want me to provide for you, right?
What? No. Like I said, I have some money saved up.
I'm disappointed in you.
Disappointed? Why?
I thought you were better than this.
What does that mean?
We worked together for years, and you were really good at your job. That's what I liked about you. I thought you'd keep working after you got married.
But I told you this when we first started dating. And like I said, I've got some money saved up too.
Doesn't matter. Now I gotta work longer hours. And your mom, she lives by herself, right? Soon we'll have to take care of her too. Did you ever think about that?
What? My mom isn't that old. Why are you being like this?
Are you gonna leech off of me for the rest of your life? Is that it?
What? No! I'm gonna quit my job, but I got a plan. I'm not gonna leech off you, Michael.
You just don't want to work anymore. That's it, isn't it?
What?
You always complain about work on Monday morning.
Who doesn't?
When I proposed to you last night, you probably thought you hit the jackpot. You're unbelievable.
What? No! How can you say that to me? If you really want it back, fine, but are you being serious right now?
Yeah, I was wrong about you. I'm not giving you a dime. We're done.
Fine. If you say so, Michael. I'll give you the ring back.
You better, but I can't return it. I'll have to sell it. But even if I sell it, I'll still lose money. You better make up the difference.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't want to waste another dime on you. All that money I spent on you? What a waste.
What? I bought you gifts too, you know. And when we ate out, I always paid for my own food.
That's not how I remember it.
Wow. You're unbelievable. I didn't know you were like this. What did I see in you?
Huh? You trying to put this on me now? Whatever, I'm through with you. You make me sick. Get out of my life.
Right back at you. I'll give you the ring back. We're done here. Goodbye.
Wait! Pay me for damages! You tricked me!
What? I never tricked you. And I never asked you to buy that ring for me or pay for my dinner. So no, I'm not paying you.
You're pushing it! I can't believe I wasted 2 years of my life on you.
Right back at you. I had no idea you were like this.
Screw you! Just quit your job and get out of my life!
Quit? I don't think so. If you don't want to see me at the office, why don't you quit?
What? Why me? You're a woman! You're gonna quit at some point anyways!
Oh, wow. 5 minutes ago, you told me not to quit my job. Make up your mind.
Shut up! Just quit your job, okay? I never want to see you again.
Same here, but I'm not quitting.
Why not?
Because my uncle owns the place.
What?
You didn't know? My dad passed away when I was little. It was just me and my mom, but my uncle, he was really good to us. And my mom owns a few apartments around the city now. She was gonna give me one when I got married. That's why I thought about quitting my job, but oh well. I guess I'll have to keep my day job.
Regina, wait! There's been a misunderstanding.
What?
Look, I'm sorry if I upset you. I didn't mean to. I apologize. Will you forgive me?
For what?
For all the things I said to you.
Doesn't matter. We're done. It's over.
What? Why?
What do you mean, why, LOL? It's over between us. You said it yourself. Don't worry, I'll give you back the ring.
No, you keep it. Listen, Regina, let's start over. Will you marry me?
What? Hell no, LOL.
Why not? And why didn't you tell me about your uncle?
I was gonna tell you today. But, you know, it doesn't matter anymore. I want nothing to do with you anymore.
Don't say that. Look, it was a misunderstanding, okay?
As soon as I told you about quitting my job, you said all those horrible things to me. You called me a leech. Too bad I don't need your money.
I know, I get it now. Come on, let's just start over, okay?
No. And, you're probably gonna get transferred to a different department soon.
Huh?
I just talked to my uncle. I told him we broke up.
What? Why?
He was really upset. I told him everything you said to me. You said you never wanted to see my face again, so he's gonna transfer you to some dead-end position in the middle of nowhere. Congrats!
What? Look, I'm sorry, okay?
Too late. He said he's gonna send you to some factory. Sucks for you. Oh well. Have fun! So Ri told her uncle everything. A few days later, Masato got transferred. It was either that or quit. He didn't have much of a choice. He had a desk job all these years, but now he was stuck in a factory in the middle of nowhere. And to make things worse, he didn't get along with his new colleagues. A few months later, he lost his mind and quit his job. A few weeks later, he tried to sneak into Ri's house to talk to her, but he got caught and ended up getting arrested. Poor guy. Oh well.